astronauts have made international headlines for their mission to Mars from inside the Mitzpe Ramon crater in the Negev desert. Their goal is to launch interest in Israel science buffs of tomorrow and to maybe travel to the Red Planet one day. Please welcome Professor Guy Ron and Jackie Fay of DMARS. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome out of isolation and self-imposed captivity. So everybody has been talking about what you guys have been done, and obviously Mars is in the news with a Tesla heading that way right now. So actually good timing, right? Yeah. So tell us why, an interest in simulating this and why Mitzpe Ramon specifically.
Well, Mitzpe Ramon specifically, so the Mitzpe Ramon area is one of the best places on the planet to simulate Mars in terms of the geography, the geology, the aridity, the solitude. It's a fairly good analog for Mars. It even looks the same. It's the same color, right? You walk outside, you feel like you're on Mars.
Yeah.
And simulating these missions, so it's very important for us to perform what we call analog missions, where we try and simulate one or more of the conditions that researchers who are actually going to Mars are going to be facing. Since you have to try out and learn about the different protocols, techniques, experiments that you're going to want to run there. So you have to run them on Earth first.
Right. And it's a little bit safer to be on Earth as well. Now, you live in Mitzpe Ramon, and so you are a fellow stargazer.
Definitely.
So, what would you say is most special about being able to, view all of these phenomena from such a profound place where you just see endless amount of
I would call
activity?
Mitzpe Ramon Israel's space city. It's really a place that is pushing forward. Astronomy is a huge part of the community. It's a big part of our tourist industry as well. I myself lead astronomy tours at night. We have a planetarium, and it's just growing and growing and growing. So it's really important for, obviously because of the location, it's the closest city to the area that we opened the habitat. But even beyond that, it's really important that there's some sort of connection to the city itself for the future of this project.
Right. So, it looks like you're on Mars. It's so weird. So what was the experience like? Was it just a bunch of you sitting there, not running out of things to talk about? Like, what did you do for 4 days?
No, we definitely didn't run out of things to talk about.
Well, it turns out because this whole mission happened really, really fast. So we never really had a chance to get to know each other before the actual mission, which is really, if you're in a real space program, you're spending years training together.
Right.
We were kind of thrown in together, so we didn't actually run out of things.
It's like Big Brother, a whole new concept of Big Brother.
Except nobody gets kicked out of the house before it's over.
Okay, no marriages? No marriages? No. So what was it mainly that you were, looking to accomplish? Because I know this is going to be the first of, other attempts. So what was the main, accomplishment of this first one?
First of all, the fact that this happened, I think I would like to say is the biggest accomplishment. Because before we did what we did, there was no platform in which to do this type of research in Israel. It just didn't exist. So the fact that we all really jumped in together and put this thing together and went through with the first mission, that number one, set a standard for a place from which we can continue to do other kinds of research in the future. And there were a few, maybe you want to talk about that. We did have a few specific experiments that we focused on this time in these 4 days.
Namely, yes, because you're a nuclear physicist and a professor. You're like, when you say it's not rocket science, this is meant for you. Like, oh my gosh, I know a real rocket scientist.
So we were actually running a few separate experiments. I myself was running a cosmic radiation measurement experiment that was designed to show that you can build the cheap and mobile devices that would measure cosmic radiation, which is going to be a problem that we're going to face on Mars. There was two other experiments, one run by Dr. Raut Sorek-Abramovich, who is testing protocols to test for life signs in Martian soil and to perform 3D printing using the soil itself. We were also running a psychological experiment to test the effects of isolation on people. And lastly, there's a parallel group that's running right now, an Austrian group from the Austrian Space Forum that are running in the Dhofar Desert in Oman. And we were running a communication protocol experiment with them. So what happens if you lose communication with your home base and you have to do all of the communication through this other group of astronauts that's there? They talk to their base talks to our base, and then back and forth. But I think, like Jackie said, it's really the fact that we did this. We really wanted to learn what we need to do in order to make this into a much bigger platform.
Right.
So it's mostly learning how to operate this kind of thing, because in 2020 there's going to be there's likely to be a group of a much larger group, including people from the Austrian Space Forum, who are going to come to Israel and do a much longer and much bigger experiment.
So how imminent is it? I mean, listen, this is also really great, to put Israel on the map. I mean, you don't think of Israel when you're thinking of a space program, but because so many obvious things are happening from here, is it realistic, that Israelis could be kind of at the, leading the pack of a possible one-day mission to Mars?
Anything's possible. I think that I think that the important thing about this analog mission in particular is it's not necessarily focused on how are we going to get to Mars. The focus is what happens once we're there.
Mars. And then can't return. I'm thinking, I want to go on that trip. It's only 10. The Tesla's going to be there in less than a year.
Well,
but you can't come back.
This whole endeavor also grew out of the School for Young Astronauts, which is a program run at the Davidson Institute, which is the educational arm of the Weizmann Institute of Science. And pretty much half of it is designed to get students interested in space and STEM fields. And maybe one of these students is going to be the one going to Mars, right?
Thank you guys so much. So fascinating. Invite me, please. I really want to take part, even though I'll be bored, I think, for all those days. But I didn't know. Okay. But it's more boring being 10 months in a spaceship, right? With the same view? I don't know.
Probably.
All right.